question I'm often asked is what's it like to work in the industry? And I have to correct people because they see you in magazines and things or doing stuff with Calder and Mainline, and they assume that it's your job. And I put them straight and say, it ain't my job, you know. I work on an oil refinery. I work a shift, which is luckily gives me midweek off. So yeah, this is sort of secondary really, but the first love in my life. Yeah, roughly I get around one night a week to fish, and I take holidays, so every now and then I get a two-nighter in. And so it's important to me that I pick the right venue, go about it the right way, you know, like I don't necessarily be realistic. You hear people talk when they ain't got a lot of time, they say, oh, be realistic, give yourself, you know, 5 40-pounders and a load of 30-pounders, then you'll catch one. I'm not always realistic. In fact, a lot of the time I'm unrealistic, because being unrealistic will give me a brilliant result, where realistic will give me an average result. And we'll strive, I suppose, to try and do as best as we can for ourselves. So I often pick fish that are difficult to catch. You know, a lake with 140 in, which means I catch less than the average guy, I suppose. But when I catch them, they can sometimes be really special. So like, in the last few years, I've fished a few different waters. One was just under 500 acres. I didn't even know there was carp in there. And I took that on, didn't see a fish for 3 months. Kept going, kept baiting it. And then eventually the bait started disappearing. Eventually I caught a fish that had never been caught in its life. So it was an unrealistic project, but I went there and done something that I thought was, you know, good. So yeah, I don't always set realistic targets. So when I'm fishing these tricky venues, there's a number of things that factor in my approach, and I'll try and break them down for you so you can sort of understand how I think about it. You know, when I start fishing the lake, let's say a lake like this, 6 7 acres, I'll look at the water. Is the water clear? Is the water murky? That'll tell me what kind of hook bait I'm going to use. If it's clear, it might be bright because it's visual. If it's murky, then it won't matter if it's bright or not. I'll then listen to other anglers, because other anglers are always giving you advice, you know, yeah, this works near, that works on there. And you can go in there. I don't like to go in with a preconceived idea, but it's good to have a little background knowledge. So when you're trying things, because everything at first on a new venue is a bit trial and error, and it's good to have some trials. So that's the way I'll approach that. Then I'll look at features. What's the lake got in it? Where are the shallows? Where are the deeps? You know that the shallows are going to be good in the summer. As the autumn comes on, the fish are going to spend a lot more time in the deeper water. And also, what's the bird life like? On here, you cannot get a boilie out of a catapult. You have to spom your bait out, because the seagulls, they'll have everything as it hits the water. So like, there's all different factors to take into account. Then the fish you're targeting. Targeting one single carp, which is a 140-pounder in here. Where's it come from? Does it come from a certain corner? Has it been caught off the wind? Has it been caught off the back of the wind? Look at its history of captures. If you can talk to someone who's caught it, you know, and get some information out of them, do it. Doesn't necessarily mean that that information is going to put that fish on the bank for you, but it's all about building the jigsaw. So that brings me down to bait really. When I fish a venue, I need to have confidence in bait. I don't want to be questioning bait on tricky venues, so I use a bait I've got confidence in. So at the moment I've been using the cell. I know it's a good all year round bait. I can start baiting when it's warm, and it will take me right into the coldest of weathers and still be working. The reason that baits like the cell, hybrid, active 8 work so well throughout the year is they're so easily digestible. And they're active, which means the second they hit the water, they're fishing for you. So you ain't got to worry about them, you know, like some baits out there that are fish meal and they can gill in the cold. These baits won't do that. They'll be working for you all the time, fishing, filling the layers full of smells and flavours. And it sort of leads me onto a story really about confidence in bait. When I did leave a company I was with because I just wasn't confident in the bait, and I was looking around at different baits, and I ended up contacting Kev Knight and said, you know, I really want to come on board with Mainline. And I went round his house and Kev gave me a bag, 10 kilo bag of Mainline. It was a cell. So I went down to a lake called the Quarry in Essex, and it's not renowned for being a good winter water. It was a freezing cold day, and I was just setting up my bivvy, and on the other side of the lake, I see this big mirror come out of the water, land down, and I hadn't seen a fish on there for a couple of weeks. There probably hadn't been one out for over a month. So I quickly grabbed my gear, moved round, put a stringer of 18mm cell on, and I cast it out, and it hit the water, and it's the first time I'd ever used a mainline bait. I put the rod down, walked up to the bivvy to get the other one, and all of a sudden I heard the bobbin hit the alarm. I turned around, it's absolutely taken the line out of there. Plays this fish in, got it in, noticed it was one of the big mirrors, weighed 38 pounds. So I phoned Kev up and said, there's a problem with this cell. He said, what's the problem? I said, I've been here 10 minutes, I thought it worked quicker. But yeah, so from that point onwards, catching a 38 pound fish in the middle of winter, you know, I had confidence forevermore. So like, when I look now, 5 years down the line, and because of the writing and that, I've been offered quite good money to go with other companies, and I've never done it because you can't buy confidence. And I'm so confident in the bait, you know, I'm there. It's something I don't have to question on tricky venues. It's half my battle won.